I'm here with, Jessi from Middlesex Fashion Week, and this is the third year that you've been doing something. The first year was Middletown Fashion Week, and then you kind of transformed it into a broader based Middlesex Fashion Week. And you've got experience in New York and you have worked with magazines in New York. I mean, why did you want to bring a fashion show to Connecticut and the Middlesex County area in the first place?
So I thought about this way. There is a lot of fashion shows around America, and I've gone to at least 20 different kind of fashion show. But I'm really, really embedded in New York City. So in New York City, I worked with different producers and I help produce shows and I produce my own show with my partner, Pygmy Song. So what happened is that in 3 years ago, yes, it's our third year now, I spoke with my partners and then I said, hey, you know what? Middlesex County, our chamber, sorry, was asking for something to do, and I'm a member of the chamber. And then they're like, so Jesse, what can we do? More fun. And I said, well, I'm in entertainment. My business, a part of that is, of course, the child up production. So I said, why not do something local here? So I decided to do the fashion show. But in doing the fashion show, I decided to say, hey, I am not going to make it as difficult as my New York shows. What do I mean by that is like in New York City, a lot of the producers or productions are very, very, very picky in terms of designers, models, photographers, and all of that. So I said, I want to do the opposite of that. Everyone wear clothing, every designer have their own perspective. Some are really on the end of becoming a brand name, while some are just on the verge of experimenting. So I said, I want to be that platform or the opportunity for individuals to get that here in Middlesex County. So I changed it from Middletown because Middletown was just the town, but Middlesex County is bigger. So this show can go anywhere in the Middlesex County. So pursue every little town. So I said designer, models, whether you're tall, short, in between, plus size, whatever the case may be, we are going to give you an opportunity to express that. Because a lot of people have these aspirations and these dreams, but unfortunately, New York City or the Paris or the bigger city fashion show will not give them that opportunity unless it's a petite fashion show or unless
Mhm.
it's a, more endowed fashion show. So, I said, I'm going to change that narrative. And I know a lot of us designer, because myself as a designer, does not like the word local, right? When you say local, people don't understand the broad picture. Local mean you are local from the area, in my perspective, versus, okay, you are a designer globally. Yes, you may be a global international designer, whatnot the case may be, but you're local to us. You're from the area. So that's what I consider our local designers. But this show have features local designers and designers that are not from Connecticut. So all in all, I really wanted to give every and anyone the opportunity to be on a runway, whether it be a model or a designer. So that's the reason why I really created this show.
Now, from the point of view of the audience, being more open, can be exciting for the models and designers. But why is that also beneficial and appealing for audiences who want to come to the show?
Great question, because I've heard this all the time, putting on show. The models have to look tall or slender and whatnot. And they're like, oh my God, well, they don't look like that. So I've heard this feedback from at least three, four shows that I've actually produced, like sending out surveys, hearing the feedback. They're like, they need to see more. They call it real woman clothing. I don't, or real woman model or real male. So I'm like, what is real? The other models are real, but industry, right? We have this notion that model need to look this way, but that's not all the people that come to the show, right? People are inspired to see those clothing, but they want to see someone who look like them
Mhm.
in the same kind of clothing, right? Oh my God, that looks good, and I look like her, or that looks good, or I look like him. So that's the interesting part of it, why I did it too, because the audience are looking to see someone like themselves on the runway, tall or short, because the people are not 5'8". or 6 feet tall in terms of guys. So a lot of people love to see that, and that's what we try to do when it comes to Middlesex Fashion Week for the audience
Yeah.
perspective.
Now, where we were talking earlier about where the designers were coming from. It sounded like you were pulling in not only folks from down the street, but from down the coast. Talk to me about where your designers are coming from.
Yeah, so how I scout designers, I don't look at designer with 15,000 K followers. I don't look at designers who have all that because, some of them are well established and they may not look at a Middlesex Fashion Week to attend. So I try to see which designer, even working on different shows, that say, okay, this is a market that you have already tapped into, like New York, but there's other market that you may be able to tap into. And I reach out to them directly. I do have an assistant and so on, but I personally scout the designers myself because I want to give them that showcase. So this year, including Jamaica, I have a designer who is from Jamaica. I should get the final go ahead if he's going to be able to make it in person. If not, I may just get his clothing
Mhm.
to come to showcase his pieces, beautiful pieces. Re styling celebrities in Jamaica, such as like the Beanie Man, the Spice, Shensia. And so, we've been communicating for over 2 years now because I wanted him to be on the first show. So I have him coming on. I have people from South Carolina, designers from North Carolina, Georgia, more so Atlanta, New York, Boston, Rhode Island, and of course here in Connecticut. I sculpt these designers because I look at what the pieces are, how intricate they are to me, and said, "Oh, you know what? You have a point of view that I would like for you to showcase here." So I really sculpt designers with my own perspective. Some people may not use them, but some of the designers that I've scouted, I've been on New York Fashion Week, like Runway 7, and other platforms in New York City and New York Fashion Week. And I know that they pay. The first thing they ask me, how much is it gonna cost me? Because they know what they pay in New York City. And I said, I'm giving you guys opportunity, and I want you guys to bring the best that you can to showcase to the audience here. Because our show is not about just producing a fashion show. My goal behind it is giving back to community. So I tell the designers that you're giving back. So you
Mhm.
come into showcase, you're giving back to community because you are showing that your talent is for community and everyone. So I like that, and I love to look for the best designers. There's no such thing as best designer because designers all have their own perspective and what they think is fashionable in their site. So yeah, so I will see different designers from, oh, I left someone out, DC as well. I have one from DC that will be coming as well. So definitely you will see designers from pretty much, I won't say nationwide, but across the nation.
Now, I mean, since this is the third year, I mean, what's new and what has evolved since, there's the concept when you do the first year and then you think
Yep.
seeing what works or what's missing. I mean, how has things evolved since that first show?
So what have evolved really is getting people. So I don't have a board for this, so to speak, per se. It's just myself and a team. Like I entrust in you to say yes or no to like the people in the media world.
Mhm.
You've been a very integral part of this role, but now I have people knocking on the door. Hey, I'd like to be a PR. Hey, I'd like to do this. Hey, I'd like to do that. So that's very new. So that's very exciting, and people like, hey, can I be on the website? So now I used to scout all my hair and makeup. Right now I have a whole salon that do hair and makeup. That is going to be my official partner every year going forward. So it's called Salon on Main in Middletown. They do hair and makeup. So she's bringing her whole team. Sonia is bringing her whole team to do hair and makeup, giving back to community as well. No cost to us whatsoever, and she even actually helped recruiting. So now I have like a team that I never had before. So this very, very, very new I guess partnership is exciting. Other thing that are new is the Middletown. arts department is also getting interested because something started new. They're like, do we really want to promote it on our website? Do we want to do that? This person may be a scammer, or they're doing this for likes, or well, all these other things that people may think of. But so now we're getting into that, speaking with different local, I don't want to say dignitaries, but local government or
Mhm.
local agency that's working within the Middlesex County to be interested. So that's very, very, very good as well. That's new actually, because this, as third year is now getting in people's ear, and they see that okay, and I will not stop until it become this big thing in Middletown. I really want to see it grow, even if I am not leading it, and somebody take on the baton. I'm fine with that. I want to see this show grow to the next level. But what we've changed this year was we're doing 3 days, and it's Middlesex County, and I thought about it, right? And last year we went to three different towns in Middlesex. This year we're coming back just to Middletown for to just revamp certain things. But what we've learned is that the further destination in Middlesex County, people weren't as intrigued because it's a drive. Like most people that purchase tickets are from the Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport area, and some from Middletown, but they're driving. Middletown is like half hour for from
Mhm.
most places, and coming now they're going to deeper in Middlesex County. It seems so very far. So last time we had people who purchased ticket that didn't show up. They asked, "Can I come to the next day?" So we kind of like, all right, fine, come to the next day since we weren't fully sold out to the capacity that we had. So I was like, all right, fine. So we've changed to just 2 days. We're doing the Friday and then a Saturday. This is the reason because I think it takes lot less work, more interest with the models because models are actually giving their time, and it's 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's like some of them are burnt out, they're tired, and they all don't live in Middletown. Actually, I don't think anyone live in Middletown, so to speak. So they're driving. Some coming from New York, some take hotels, and so like that. But that we have changed this year, just brought it down to 2 days, and the evolution of getting our local, I guess, community more involved, which is really, really cool.
Now, and just kind of to wrap up, I mean, we were discussing earlier, how there've been all sorts of fashion events going on inside, in addition to Middlesex Fashion Week. I mean, what do you like about the Connecticut fashion scene, having, been in New York, and, Connecticut had been kind of like a sleepy backwater, and all of a sudden there seems to be all this activity.
Very, very interesting. I love it. I love to see that we're actually doing this. A lot of us here are into fashion. Some of us, are just into the production portion of it. So what I really like about fashion show is the production. People think I I mean, you personally may know this, but I do not want to be in the front at all. I want to be behind the scenes, behind the backstage.
Mm.
I don't care for the accolades. I really, really love to host a show, like put the production together. I like to see the chaos, that's going backstage. And now the end result, when you see the pictures or the videos, it looks so beautiful. But I know backstage was like hell. That's what I get from it. I love that, adrenaline going through. I'm like, oh my God, all right, next, we gotta go. All right, it feels so good. And I always try to be the backstage manager for some reason. Where I mean, people like you need to give it up so you can be in the front, but I don't. I don't want to be in the front. I want to be in the back. I want to get my hands dirty, even if I'm dressed in my best Sunday suit. I just want to look, messy getting things done. So I love to see that we have multiple fashion shows in Connecticut. The thing is, I love the fact that we are giving Connecticut a name when it comes on to fashion. We're like smack dead in the middle. Boston have a little week going on, New York have a little week going on, and we here in Connecticut just like, and guess what? If you go into New York, you drive from Boston, you drive to Connecticut through Connecticut. Go into Boston from New York, you drive through Connecticut. So everybody just pass us by. So between myself and two other folks that I know do fashion shows here, I'm sure maybe other people they're having fashion shows as well. But I love that we are able to give our state and our local communities opportunities to express this, because some people have never been out of Connecticut, and so they don't know New York Fashion Week, they don't know New York Fashion Week. So we creating these fashion weeks, it's really, really good. We have different segment of Fashion Week, right? So I currently now run the Middlesex Fashion Week, but we have Connecticut Fashion Week, which is a different parts of the
Mhm.
states. And we have, New Haven Fashion Week, and then we just recently had Hartford Fashion Week, and this is really good. I like that we are all coming together to do it. We do have other fashion shows that are not called weeks. Those are in the, small little shows in terms of community wise. They're not doing it broad like a state or a county like myself. So we do have, I'll give her a name, really good young lady, Chastity. It was really, really good show. I like how she do our little community fashion shows. I love that. It's just really, really, really good because she's just taking and it's more themed. So the fashion shows are not always like, okay, just designer. I like some of our shows that we put together to bring out different kind of audience, because some people may not be interested in this, some people may be interested in that. So I love that Connecticut is growing and we are getting the scenes out there. I just want us to really be on the map as one, where between the three of us who are doing show, have a little like foundation or something like that to say, hey, three of us do a show, doesn't matter, okay, you are in charge of this area, that area, and then we just make a whole fashion calendar so people can look forward to coming to Connecticut for these fashion shows. So we just keep it, and my fashion show is always going to be the second week of May, always going forward. Maybe it fall on Mother's Day weekend, maybe it doesn't, but most time it will. So I want to keep that so every year people can look forward to the second week of May every year for Middlesex Fashion Week. So, I'm really excited that we have all these shows going on out here in Connecticut.
Great. That's where that should do. Thank you very much, Jessi.
Thank you so much for your time.